So we're just a few days away from Christmas, and it just feels weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm into my Christmas shopping or whatever. But I'm lacking just a little bit of the Christmas spirit, and I want to start today by fixing our gaze upon that cradle in Bethlehem, where the greatest gift ever given entered the world. The humblest of surroundings, beneath the watchful eyes of shepherds and the celestial light of heaven's star, a simple child was born. Definitely not a child of earthly power, no wealth, but purpose. And through him, the chains of mankind's bondage were destined to be broken. When he was born, in a nutshell, what the angel said was liberty, redemption, hope. It's what our founders understood. Each of us, endowed with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Our Creator gave these to us. Each of us was endowed with free will, the power to choose, to chart our own course, to stumble, to rise, to dust ourselves off and press on. This is the difference between people. People that just want a guarantee, which there is none in life. Or people who understand that free will, to be free, to live free, that gift is precious and perilous. It's always on the edge. But it is the foundation of our humanity and the cornerstone of a truly free society. Without that simple liberty to make mistakes, we can't learn. Without the liberty to fail, we don't grow. And without the liberty to choose between good and evil, the triumph of virtue over vice means absolutely nothing. We miss this message. Or maybe we save this message for Christmas Eve. It's more appropriate on Christmas Eve. We should be talking about this all year long. In fact, in many ways, it's what we've been fighting for. The message of Christmas. It's not just joy and celebration, but the message of Christmas is profound liberation. It is the birth of Christ, is the birth of freedom itself. And not the kind of freedom that is wrought by, a sword and an army or enshrined in our capital in the writings on parchment, but a freedom given to us, each of us at birth, born in our soul. It's the toughest kind of freedom because it belongs 100% to us. And what we do. We can blame other freedom on, the politicians in Washington. There's no blame except for us. And it is the freedom to forgive others. And more difficult, I think, to forgive ourselves. It's the freedom to lay down the weight of guilt. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and for a reason. There are times in your life where you just are wrought with guilt. You just can't move because in your head you're playing these tapes over and over again, and they're all lies. That's what Christmas is. The freedom to lay down that guilt, to heal wounds, old and new, to grasp the hand of grace that lifts us up out of the muck and the mire. This freedom is the most precious. And like all freedom, it is neither easy nor secure. Today, if you would watch the news, you would find that we are living in times filled with war and rumors of war. And yet, we believe, most of us, that we are at peace. Or as Longfellow may have said, the cannons of war are silent on our shores. But we are a world at war. We're a nation at war, a people at war. We've said this for a while now. More people in the world are waking up to this every day. We are in a spiritual war. It's invisible. It doesn't have aircraft carriers, but it is insidious. And you don't win with armies. You don't win at the ballot box. It's won within the hearts and minds of every single individual. It's so today. What happened 2,000 years ago is so important today because we're fighting a war for truth in a world drowning in lies. A war for courage in a time where men's hearts have failed them, riddled with fear. A war for faith when we are surrounded by doubt. And it is truly the most perilous of all struggles. Because it doesn't announce itself with the sound of drums or dramatic speeches or the sight of red banners. Its battlefield isn't seen. The stakes are eternal. So as we prepare and we stand on the threshold of this sacred season, let's not take what we face too lightly. This unseen enemy. Let's not take what happened at the ballot box as that was a reprieve. That was God doing what we couldn't do. Saying, okay, you can't fight that battle on your own. I got it. I will cover what you can't do. I'll save him and have him stand back up again. I'll protect at the ballot box, but you got to get out and do it. Now, God says, okay, now what are you going to do with it? Because I've done what you can't do. That's the deal with free will. It's a partnership. He'll forgive us, but we got to do the work. We have to take up the shield of faith and the sword of truth and the helmet of salvation, which was given to us by that little teeny baby in a manger. And then that baby growing into a man to see what he did. So we can draw strength from his example. Boy, that's a hard example to follow. Because he didn't come to condemn. He came to save. He didn't rule. He came to serve. He didn't come to divide. He came to unite under truth. I've said this before. I wonder how many of us actually took time to give thanks at Thanksgiving for the miracles we've seen. We've seen miracles. I don't, if you missed them, I don't know how, but we've seen miracles. And in the season of eternal truth and light, it's fitting that we give thanks, not only for the blessings that we hold dear, but also for the trials that refine us. I'm a better man because of the trials of the last 20 years. I don't know who I would have been if my back hadn't been against the wall for the last 20 years. I don't know who you'd be. That comes from freedom of will, of choice. We've all made a choice which side we stand on. Did we stand up when it was tough, or did we cower? And if we cowered, are we going to forgive ourselves so we'll stand up now? Give thanks for the trials. Give thanks for the liberty that we possess. For it's only in freedom that we can fully embrace the gift of redemption. And that is the principal gift. It's not just the courage. It's not just the freedom. He knows we're going to make mistakes. Let us give thanks for the right to choose, even when our choices lead us in a very dark places, because every single misstep brings us closer to the God who never ceases to call us back. Son, daughter, I'm here. Just come back. This year, let's give thanks for the courage to stand. Not only for ourselves, but for those who can't stand alone. The story of Christmas is one of hope. So the story of Christmas is, above all, a story of hope, a story that transcends the bounds of time, place, and circumstance. It's the hope that in the darkest of your night, a star will shine. It's the hope that in the humblest of stables, a king will be born. It is the hope that in the brokenness of our humanity, redemption is there to triumph. I want you to close your eyes for a minute, unless you're driving. That would be bad. Keep your eyes open if you're driving. If you're not driving, close your eyes just for a second. Consider the scene of that first Christmas. The world was troubled. People were weary, especially the Holy Family. The future was absolutely uncertain. Yet in the stillness of that night, heaven touched earth, and the light of the world entered in darkness. And so it is with us. No matter how beaten down we are, no matter how grave our hour or how heavy the burden, the light of truth still shines. They tried to snuff it out, as darkness always does, but it cannot. And that light of truth calls us to rise above all of our trials, to grasp the freedom that little baby secured for us, and to walk boldly in the path of all that is good, all that is true, all that is right. Let's commit over the next few weeks that in the next year we're going to hold fast to the truth. No matter if it's good for our side or bad for our side, we're just talking about the truth. Hold to the truth, knowing that we're all flawed, but also knowing we're loved beyond measure. That even though we fall, we're never alone and never forsaken. And though all the battles of life may rage, the ultimate victory has already been won. May I humbly suggest that we commit to each other this year to let the joy of Christmas not be just something that maybe we just barely feel right now, but we'll feel more and more as we get closer to the holidays. Instead of letting that being a fleeting sentiment, let's try to make that an abiding strength. Let the hope of that little baby inspire us. Give us the courage to face the trials of our time, because trials are still yet to come. Let the freedom wrought by the birth of Christ embolden us to live every day as people redeemed, ever striving, ever learning, ever stumbling, but grateful for that stumble because it means we're ever growing. In the words of the angels on that holy night, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. the greatest gift we can give ourselves and each other is the gift that this peace, this freedom, this hope be ours now and forevermore. We're going to talk about a lot of crap today. We're going to talk about a lot of people that you're going to want to say, I don't think I can forgive that person. A lot of people that you're going to be sitting with in just a few weeks at the Christmas table, and they're going to say, I don't know why you don't see that shooting that United Healthcare worker, why that CEO, why that's not a heroic. Have you seen the shooter's abs? And you're going to go, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. But what I thought of when I was putting this together for you today was, man, if God can put up with me, how can I not put up with, I don't know, name anybody on MSNBC. Name anybody on The View. We also have some good things to share with you today. I think it's actually all good. It's all good. I think we should recognize that we wouldn't be in the good position that we're in right now if what we all thought was bad in 2020 didn't happen. If Donald Trump would have won in 2020, God only knows what we'd be facing. And what we'd be facing unknown because they hadn't revealed themselves yet. There is nothing bad. It's what we do with it and how we react. Do we say, wow, I've got another burden. I've got to get myself up off the ground and carry on? Or do I quit